We live in a culture obsessed with loud, forceful self-improvement. The default advice for getting through a difficult season is to put your head down and grind through the pain using sheer cognitive willpower. Relying entirely on mental force creates a dangerous biological illusion. We push our minds and bodies until they break, and then mistake that absolute exhaustion for actual resilience. You cannot simply think your way out of distress. If you try to force a cognitive solution, your mind will actively invent new problems, just to give itself a synthetic sense of control over the situation. Living in this constant state of cognitive tension puts your nervous system on a defensive autopilot. You become terrified of any change, leaving you incapable of finding a state of peace. The conventional approach to personal growth, trying to fix your thoughts so your body will follow, is reversed. Look at how we normally try to process trauma. We try to use the story, our conscious cognitive thoughts, to control the state, our biological reality. But in moments of high activation, the body creates a cognitive bypass. You cannot force the mind to rewrite its narrative while the body is shouting. To move through this block, start with the body and let that signal flow upward. When the nervous system is settled, the brain finally receives the signal that it is safe enough to begin the work of psychological processing. We call this framework state before story. Long before your brain has time to process an event and construct a narrative, your body has already registered it and reacted. Before a thought forms, the nervous system votes: a tightening throat, a flash of heat, or a hollow chest. Rational logic is useless when your state is braced. Here we apply non-forcing. Tending the physical state through breath lets the body learn the storm will pass. A settled nervous system allows the mind to process an honest story. It creates a space where you can finally hear who might safely be invited in, rather than reflexively pushing the world away. When we experience an emotional rupture or failure, we tend to treat it as a permanent character flaw. Biologically, it is simply information moving through tissue, the exact definition of a bruise. A bruise naturally changes color and fading over time, but our cognitive instinct is to intervene, obsessing over the pain until we artificially cement it into our sense of self. We take that temporary reaction and adopt the setback as a permanent shame-based identity. This cognitive error leads us to spend years apologizing for emotional colors and defensive reactions that were never our decision to keep. Recovery begins by providing your body with the time and safety it needs. You have to let the bruise finish its biological work of fading so full function can return to the tissue. Real progress involves the discipline to stop mistaking a temporary color for permanent ink, abandoning the impossible promise that you will never fall again. During moments of trauma, we naturally build psychological defenses. We construct rigid boundaries to keep future pain on the outside. Run your hand along those defenses today. They reveal the marks of a seam. A wall signifies a defensive stop. A seam marks the exact place where two things were joined together. It is a tender meeting place. It highlights where the outside world entered your life, but ultimately failed to destroy you. True healing honors the places where you were sewn back together, releasing the pressure to become an unblemished new person. Because this healing happens internally, we often feel stagnant. We measure our lives using a ruler meant for someone else's timeline. Growth happens silently beneath the surface. You are underground, a season where the only progress that matters is the root reaching deeper. This structural development happens without external milestones. The root does not wait for applause or permission from the surface to keep reaching. Recovery focuses on allowing the person you used to be to finally rest, rather than forcing the creation of a flawless new identity. You do not have to be perfect to be enough. You simply have to tend to your biological state, allow the process the time it needs, and continue to arrive without pretending.